Good morning, everybody. It looks like we're right at 10 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you all for joining us today. The agenda for today's meeting is to talk about an update that's coming soon for our external catalogs and punchouts that we shop all of our city catalogs through, starting at D365 and then punching out to today. That's Acquire. In the future, we'll be transitioning to a new platform called Coupa. So procurement, Craig Booker and Ryan Rackley are joining us today. They're going to kind of walk us through the new platform and changes that you can expect in the future. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Ryan. And Ryan, I'm going to go ahead and start the recording as well.
Perfect. Welcome, everyone. My name is Ryan Rackley. I'm an IT coordinator here in the Department of Finance and Management. I work with Craig and in the vendor services group and purchasing. And we wanted to take a few moments today to discuss the new external catalog and punch-out platform. Uh, we have representatives from Coupa also on the call, just to hear any questions or comments that you have at the end. Um, and I just, again, thank you for joining us, and we'll dive right in. So again, welcome. This meeting is being recorded. Thank you, Cheryl, and for coordinating this. This is geared towards D365 users who currently today use the external catalogs feature from within D365 to procure items. We are going to be moving to a new platform called Coupa. As Cheryl indicated, we are using Acquire today, and that is at the end of its life. And we have identified a new platform that has many of the same features with a lot of enhancements in terms of overall speed and overall web responsiveness. So we'll go over that. I will then wrap up and take some questions from you if you have any. But always you'll be able to reach out to us at vendor services if you have any questions. So with that, we'll go ahead and kind of dive in of what we do today. For those of you who are familiar with this as part of your role within D365, you open up a purchase requisition and have the option to go to external catalogs, open that catalog up in a browser and shop for goods through the Acquire platform. In the future, it will be using a platform called Coupa. The good news is for you in D365, the process is exactly the same. You'll go to external catalogs, open the browser option, and you'll then be placed into the Coupa platform to begin your shopping. Again, you'll select external catalog just like you do today from purchase requisitions and punch right into Coupa. Just a reminder, when you're in D365, you will get this prompt. You'll just simply select continue just like you do today, which will then pass your information over to Coupa and let you continue to shop. Just as you do today, again, nothing's changing. Once you're done shopping, you'll bring those items back into your D365 cart and purchase requisition and finish the purchase that way. Okay, so we'll now move over to a quick demo. So I'm in my training environment here of D365, and I have my purchase requisition. Just a heads up, this training does not really cover general budget reservations and such. The focus of this training is simply on the punching out to that external catalog. So just like you do today, I will select external catalogs to add items to my purchase requisition. You'll In the future, you won't see both of these. In my test environment, I have both, but what you have today is acquire, and we will be moving to Coupa. So you'll select Coupa, that will be your option, and you'll select open in browser. Just like you do today, you'll select continue to go to the Coupa platform. So we're in the Coupa platform. A lot of features from the overall layout may remind you of the acquire layout. We have our punch outs specifically highlighted here in the right section. And we then have our catalogs here at the top where you can search or view all your catalogs. So let's just do a couple of demonstrations here of using both punch outs, which are effectively vendor websites that hold parts and such, as well as we'll also demonstrate some catalog options that are hosted here within the Coupa platform. I know many of you probably who do this may be asked from time to time to shop through Staples. So we'll use that as our first example. So I punched out to the Staples punch out, and I'm going to search for some pens, office supplies, some pens. Let's get some blue pens. These look pretty good here. So I'll add 2 of these to my cart. And I will, oh, I like this here. Let's see, let's grab some file folders while I'm at it. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and then hit review and check out. And then I'm going to take this cart back over into the Coupa platform. Very similar to how it works today in Acquire. Okay, I'm now viewing my shopping cart. I have those items that have now been loaded. You can see both of those are coming from Staples. I have my pens. I also have those file folders. Just a heads up, we don't really use the ship to information here at the top, so you can ignore that. Really, this is a review at this point. If there's anything that you want to change or remove before taking that back into D365. Here, I will go ahead and select checkout. And down here at the bottom, I will then hit transfer to send that cart over into D365. And there it is. So I have those items both here now in D365 with valid purchase agreements. All the detail is matching what I saw on the previous screen. I will then go ahead and select and say add to requisition. Those items now are in my purchase requisition as I expected. And if I open up my line details, I can see here that those were indeed from an external catalog. I did select 2 on that first selection for the pens. Everything looked good. Very good. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just remove those here for the sake of demonstration purposes and do another couple of demos here. So some of these providers, these punch out providers, are tied into the search feature here within the Coupa platform. So for example, I often order a particular part, let's say, from Fastenal, and I'm familiar with the part number. So rather than going into Fastenal, and if I click it, sometimes I'll even be told, hey, just so you know, this particular punch out is connected to our search feature here within Coupa. So without even having to go to that that vendor's punch out, I can go ahead and do a search right here with that part number. So I'll go ahead and enter that part number that I have, and you may be the type that have multiple items that you shop for on a regular basis. And so by using this fast search, you can pull those items up very quickly. Yep, this is exactly what I'm looking for. This is the air circulator that will help keep our workshop air breathable. So I'm going to go ahead and add that directly without even having to go to the Fastenal site. After adding it, I am then prompted, I can review my cart, or I could actually come up over here to in the right-hand corner of my screen to view the cart that way. One item I will say is when you do this, if you hit checkout really quickly, sometimes you'll get a message at the top of the screen saying, hey, give us a minute while we communicate with the vendor website, the vendor punch out. If you get that red bar at the top, just wait another couple of seconds, and then you'll be able to proceed to transfer that item further along in the process. I will go ahead and hit transfer. And there it is. That item has been added to D365 as expected. I'll go ahead and add that to my requisition, and I'll continue with the procurement process on the D365 side. Okay. Let me do another example here of actually using what we call our hosted catalogs. These are catalogs that are maintained by the purchasing office. They don't have quote unquote punch out websites that you can go to, but that the pricing descriptions, all that detail is handled through hosted catalogs. So as I mentioned when we first kind of came onto the website here, up here at the top, you can click on catalogs. You can say, I want to view all my catalogs. Like many websites, you can adjust how many you see at one time. So right now I can see 15, I can show 90 per page, and make it easier to kind of review all of those. But what many people might do is if they're on their front page here, maybe they deal with a particular catalog on a regular basis. So for example, I want to look for a catalog called ADS, and then I can quickly select that and open the catalog without having to do a lot of digging. And then I can find the items I'm looking for. So I need 2 of these anchor bolts and 2 of these. I'll add that one and add that one. I'll choose review cart. And you can see both of those items have been added. And just like we saw in the previous examples, I can click checkout and transfer that over. But before I do that, I realized I need to remove this one here. I'll select that one. I'll choose delete because I decided I only need this particular 1/4 inch one. And that looks right. Yep. So I'll then go ahead and finish the checkout process. Again, very similar to how it works today. Hopefully these screens in D365 and that kind of work, the flow of adding to cart and bringing back is very familiar to you. Okay. All right, let's do another example here. I'm going to go into Coupa, and just like I did with Fastenal, I have a part that I'm familiar with, not in the punch out, but it's in one of these catalogs out here. So I will search for the brown paper towel. This is the one I'm looking for from Carmen's. I will go ahead and add 3 of those. Add, review my cart. And I won't go ahead and transfer here because I think you kind of get the flow at this point, hopefully. At this point, I could then proceed with the checkout and transfer that over into D365. While we're looking at this screen, I do want to kind of also highlight this comment section. Unfortunately, we are unable to hide that at this time. The comments are something that is not used. If you put any information in here, that information does not transfer to D365. And so all your information, if you had that kind of comments or anything of that nature, that would not be something you would put in here. The point of this platform is to help you shop, make sure commodity codes are in alignment to the purchase agreements that the city has already established. And I think I mentioned at the top, you'll ignore the ship to as well. That again is handled on the D365 side. Okay. So let's see. I went ahead and talked about the comments and the shipping. Um, let's just see here if I want to add something else here to this. So we're going to go over here into CDW, for example. I'll visit the store. And that's the one I need. I'll view my cart. I'll check out. And there it is. Okay, perfect. So that's the kind of the cart procedure of adding items, removing them if you need to, checking out and transfer. I do want to also show you here, if you are digging through and looking through all your catalogs, for example. In Coupa, the system as we have it designed at the moment will blend multiple purchase agreements within a particular supplier. So if you're looking through a particular catalog, you actually might see, you'll see the various parts, whether they cover one purchase agreement or another. Also in here, it may look a little different in terms of the way it's ordered. In Acquire, it tended to be a very vertical with a lot of scrolling downwards. Here, more parts are listed in a more of a grid style. You can get back to that list by selecting the list view here, if that's something you're more familiar with. You can also use the options here to kind of adjust the way in which parts are listed, from more by title, also by price. Okay. But by default, you see, we show it to you through the grid view. If you want to scroll down, you can hit to load more items. Okay. But you then can continue your shopping, adding further items to your cart and proceeding that way. Okay, that covers my general overview of the demos through both using direct punchouts as well as searching these punchouts for some of the providers, not all, that are keyed into the very fast search, as well as the ability to use the catalog feature by locating directly catalogs that you are looking for in particular, or using the all catalogs feature to review all the catalogs that are available to you. Okay. And then since we're done, we would review the cart, finish up, and transfer that back into D365. Okay. That covers my demos of the punch outs, the catalogs, the fast searches. Overall, the website is a phenomenal speed increase from what we have today. So hopefully you'll find that you can order and get your items back into D365 much faster to get more done within your day. So I just kind of wrap up here. The process is really staying the same. You'll create your PR in D365. You'll create your purchase requisition and take those in through the external catalog feature. You'll then punch into Coupa, shop the external catalog just as you do today, add those items to the cart within the Coupa platform, and you'll then check out just like you do today back into D365, where you'll then finish, add GBR information and such to your lines. That's all I have. It was going to be a quick one, and this is where we want to just kind of mention if you have any questions at all, we're happy to take those. We do anticipate the Coupa platform launching soon. We will advise you once that date has been finalized. But this platform is managed by the procurement office in coordination with the auditor's office. If you have any questions, concerns, if you have feedback, once we move forward with this and we move over to the Coupa platform, if you have any issues that come up, we want to hear from you. You can reach out to me. My name is Ryan Rackley. Craig Bucher, who is in the purchasing office, or you can reach all of us at once by reaching out to vendor services at columbus.gov. And with that, I'll go ahead and stop sharing my screen, and I'd be happy to take any questions you might have.
Yeah, and if you have questions for Ryan, feel free to take yourself off mute. Or if you're more comfortable, you can also type any questions in the chat window as well.
Hey, Ryan, it's Kyle. Not so much a question, but I have done some testing with Ryan on this, and I just want to say to the users who are using Acquire today, use the search feature when we get to Coupa because it really is fast and it really is a good feature where I know that maybe Acquire is lacking a little bit in that right now. So when this gets turned over to you and turned on, absolutely use that quick search feature because it's functional and it's a big improvement from what we have today.
Appreciate that feedback, Kyle. Thank you.
All right. So Ryan, I see no questions in the chat. Anybody else want to come off mute?
This is Norman Holly with the Dublin Road Water Plant. How does it search well with just a part number, not a description?
Yes, it does. So, for example, Napa is one of the is a provider that's connected to the Coupa platform search. So I was experimenting the other day with searching with a oil filter. It came back almost immediately in the search, and I was able to check out very quickly without even having to go to the Napa punch out. I was pretty impressed. Yeah. Again, not all the punch outs support that feature, It depends on how the vendor punch out is configured and aligned. But I know, like, for example, Napa is one of those. Yes. And so the part number does really work well.
Right, and we do have one question in the chat. Will we still use purchase from a contract as the reason code on each line and the same PR to PO process as before? That is correct. There are no changes in that area. And we have another question. Will Staples products be included in the search that you were just describing, Ryan?
Yep. So from what I can see on the Coupa platform, it does not look like Staples is one of those that has that feature. I apologize. Staples does not. But so you would need to punch into Staples to do that, based on what I can see at this time. Yeah. But don't let that preclude you from running the search, depending on how purchase agreements are set up. You know, there may be other providers that have that. That way, you're getting the best possible price. So again, as Kyle mentioned, that use the search to see if you are getting the best price.
And there's another question here. Can we search the catalog without having to create a PR? So yes, so there is a link in D365, and I can share that again when I send out the email. That does allow you even today to go out and search the catalog without creating a PR first. So we'll obviously be updating that link so that it now will open up Coupa rather than Acquire. And I'll share the menu location of that within D365. One more question. Will the process for catalog additions remain the same? I think that's probably a question for Craig.
Sorry. Yes, it will remain the same. Please send those to vendor services. There may be, a little delay in getting things added because the system's a little newer and we have to navigate through a lot of stuff early on. So we may have some corrections here and there, but please just submit those as you normally do and give us a little bit of time and a little bit of patience, please.
All great questions. Thank you for those.
Hey, I have a question. And I just came up with this question. Maybe you guys wanted to question this as well. But since this is a new software, will there be ongoing support or follow-up sessions?
I mean, when we do go live, we would provide you with kind of that information. I'm happy to sit down with anyone that has any questions or follow-up questions, and I could go through this again. The good news is the flow and the steps today is pretty much the same as you'll be experiencing when you move to the new platform. So D365 is staying the same. Using purchase requisitions as the vehicle to connect to the financial side. That's all staying the same. And then the flow of shopping fundamentally is really not changing. What is changing is we're getting a faster website, a much better search, and a great team with Coupa to help us bring this to you.
All right, well, if there are no further questions, we will give you about 30 minutes back of your day. Again, we have been recording this session, so as soon as that's available, I will be sharing that with all D365 users. I know a number of people reached out today and couldn't attend, so you will see that if not today, then early tomorrow, but I suspect later today. And thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Ryan and Craig, for presenting today.